Because the soul of this nation is strong, because the backbone of this nation is strong, because the people of this nation are strong, the State of the Union is strong.
I don't know if you guys watched that State of the Union yesterday, but it was a little bit of an S show. It was definitely a show. It wasn't a good show. It was a bad show. As a matter of fact, it brought my blood pressure up, I don't know, a lot. If I could have thrown my phone or my computer across the room, I would have. But I had to watch it. I watched it so that the folks out there that didn't want to watch it didn't have to. You're welcome. So, welcome back to Right IQ. My name is Ty. Thank you for joining me today. And I am going to go through a few bullet points that that Joe Biden laid out for us yesterday that just seemed very crazy. It just seemed nutty. Hyperbolic at times. The GOP stepped in a few times to keep him in check because the whole thing was full of lies. It was just a Democrat convention basically where they talked about all the Democrat talking points and everything that they say that they're going to do. Look, he's been in that seat for, I don't know, 2 years now. 2 years? Yeah, man, seems like a lot longer. But he's been in that seat for about 2 years now, and it has been a crazy 2 years. And given what he said in that speech, I'm thinking that these next 2 years are going to be even crazier. Every single day is a news cycle. Every single day the news cycle changes. As soon as you think you grasp onto one news event, something else pops up and covers that one up. It's crazy. But let me go ahead and go through some of the stuff. He talked about some really crazy stuff yesterday. And a lot of it I was kind of scratching my head going, what the heck is this guy talking about? Because it really didn't make any sense to me unless you live in backwards land. And apparently that's where he lives. He probably should have taken an ice cream break, but I'm sure he had an ice cream break right afterwards for a job well done. But let me go ahead and show you this first clip here where he's talking about the border and how he wants to secure it. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
We now have a record number of personnel working to secure the border, arresting 8,000 human smugglers, seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months. We've launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that. But American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border. And a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers.
Yeah, when he talks about this 97% drop rate as far as immigrants coming from Venezuela and those areas, when he talks about that, what he's basically talking about is that application that he put out that basically approves them before they even get here so that there's no long lines. He can just bring them in, usher them in, and send them throughout the United States. He streamlined the process of trafficking these people from South America and beyond. And it's really disingenuous. I did a video about this. You guys can look that up. It's over on Rumble or YouTube. It might be on YouTube still. I don't know if they took that down or not. But with that being said, it's really disingenuous to say that it's dropped down by 97%. The numbers don't meet the reality. As usual, when a Democrat talks, there's usually some deceiving going on in their vocabulary when they're speaking to you. And as far as securing the border, I really don't even know what that means anymore. I know what I mean when I say it, but I don't think it means the same thing when they say it. So when we're talking about getting more equipment and more border patrol, what are they going to be doing? What does that mean? Can somebody explain that to me? That doesn't really make sense to me. I wish that somebody on the Democrat side would define what securing the border means, because they've been saying that the border's been secure for, I don't know, a year or two, a year and a half. Isn't that what Kamala Harris was supposed to be doing? Figuring out the reason that people came down here so they don't come down here anymore? I don't know. We're giving all these countries money, and they're still sending over their best and their brightest. Not really, not so much. But we're giving away all this money to all these South American countries, and we're still getting all of their rejects. So what's going on with that? So explain to me what securing the border means, and I might support you on that. But at this point, I'm thinking that you're playing word games as usual. You're a Democrat. You always play word games. And, as far as this immunity thing, this amnesty, this legalizing all of these illegal immigrants, no, I don't think so. That doesn't really jive with me, because you just let in what is it? The number that they're putting out there is like 2 million or something like that. And 2 million people have come across the border within the last 2 years, and we're supposed to just make them legal, plus everybody who's come in illegally from before that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. This doesn't make any sense. What we need is our border patrol to be cruising around picking up illegal immigrants, people who don't belong here, came across the border illegally. Yeah. I'm thinking that's what our border patrol should be doing. Tell me what you think about that. I don't know. But he goes on to start talking about how he's going to get tough with China. Listen to this.
Today, we're in the strongest position in decades to compete with China or anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world. And I'm committed. I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world. But make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
Yeah, Joe Biden, you were so strong and forceful with China. Man, you really taught them a lesson. Good job there, buddy. It's amazing to me that he could let that balloon travel all the way across the United States, travel over all of these top secret military installations, all these missile silos, gather up all of this information, and then decide, that he's going to shoot it down and then claim a victory about it. That's the Democrat Party right there. It's amazing to me. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know if you guys saw this on social media, but she was kind of trolling Joe Biden. And so what she did was she filled up a white helium balloon and started walking around Congress with that. She wasn't allowed on the floor. They made sure that wasn't allowed. But she was trolling the heck out of him, did an interview and everything like that. And it's just kind of funny that Joe Biden can sit up there with a straight face talking about he's going to be stronger with China. And I just laugh. I'm just like, is this guy serious? His actions don't meet what we see with our own eyes. We're not supposed to believe what we see with our eyes. Our eyes are lying to us. All we have to do is listen to Joe Biden, and everything will be fine. It's just amazing to me. It's a hoot. I'm telling you. This State of the Union was just a Democratic talking point. One big, long talking point for the Democratic Party, and it was amazing. But now he's talking about fentanyl, and all of a sudden, now he wants to do something about fentanyl. Where the hell has he been for 2 years while the American citizens have been dying? Do you know where fentanyl's coming in? Over the damn border. The border that is wide open right now. And he's allowing it to happen. So listen to this clip right here, and let me let you in on a little bit of something. The GOP didn't let him get away with it. Check this out.
Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year. You got it.
I am so happy that the Republicans called him out on his BS. It's about time. We need some strength on our side. I couldn't sit there and listen to that for, an hour and a half and not be throwing up all over myself. It's amazing to me that the stuff that comes out of Joe Biden's mouth. Now all of a sudden he cares about fentanyl. Fentanyl has been killing Americans for over 2 years now. Over 2 years it has been a crisis, and Donald Trump was stopping that. And one of the ways that you can stop that is by shutting down the border. And that's exactly what Joe Biden doesn't want to do. So if he doesn't want to get tough on China, who is sending the fentanyl over to Mexico, and he doesn't want to get tough on the border, which is where all this fentanyl is coming from. At what point are we going to ask ourselves, how is it possible that you're going to get control of fentanyl? How is that possible? You've got to take care of those issues before you're going to be able to get a handle on this fentanyl crisis. And until you got, until you break into reality a little bit, that's just not going to happen. And so, it's amazing that he's found religion on fentanyl, but it's a little bit late. And if you're not going to deal with the underlying issues of how the fentanyl is getting here in the first place, you're never going to address it. It's never going to be fixed. The number one way to fix it is secure that border. And that's the one thing he doesn't want to do. But all of a sudden, he's figured out that, that everybody else's sovereignty is more important than our sovereignty, which is amazing. So listen to this statement that he made on his State of the Union concerning Ukraine and their sovereignty.
Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages, a test for America, a test for the world. Would we stand for the most basic of principles? Would we stand for sovereignty? Would we stand for the right of people to live free of tyranny? Would we stand for the defense of democracy?
No, Joe Biden. I don't stand for democracy because we're a republic. That's what we've always been, and that's what we'll continue to be, even though you want us to be a democracy. So I'll start right there. But also, when did you start caring about sovereignty? So you care about everybody else's sovereignty, but ours, and you expect us to feel the same way. No, I don't stand with Ukraine. They're sucking up American resources, American money, and, what are we getting out of it? What exactly are we getting out of it? We're not protecting democracy. We're protecting your hidden agenda. We're protecting the deep state. We're protecting the people who don't carry America's best interest at heart. So no, I don't stand with Ukraine. I do stand for sovereignty, and I stand for our republic. And that's all I have to say about that. This whole thing was basically a show for the Democrats that, unfortunately the Republicans were invited to and had to show up to. But it's basically a song and dance from the Democratic Party. And it was not based in reality at all. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, anything that he said to at the State of the Union is going to move the needle at all as far as looking out for the American people one bit. None of it does. It's just one big song and dance from the Democratic Party, hoping that some of these plebs out there will just fall in line and swoon over him, thinking that he can do another 4 years. The dude can't even finish out the 4 years that he's currently in. Another 4 years would be devastating. As a matter of fact, if we don't get him out of there, if we don't get our republic back on track, the United States as we know it will cease to exist. And something else will pop up. And we'll all be speaking Mandarin. So I don't stand with you, Joe. I don't stand with Ukraine. I don't stand for democracy. I stand for the American people, the American republic. And when you figure that out and you start developing your policies in that direction, I'll stand with you. But until then, no. The State of the Union is not good. The State of the Union has not been good for 2 years. From the moment you stepped into office, into that Oval Office, our republic has went downhill quickly, and you are responsible for that. So no, the State of the Union is not good, and I do not support you or this current 2023 State of the Union. But I have something brighter to speak to you guys about, something more enlightening, something more motivating, something more uplifting for you guys to latch onto that could give you hope as far as the future of the Republic and the Republican Party. And that's Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She gave the rebuttal to Joe Biden's State of the Union. And she nailed it. She wasn't loud. She wasn't overwhelming. But she hit some points, and she hit Joe Biden and this administration extremely hard. And I'm going to go ahead and let her set it up. Here you go. Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Good evening. I'm Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Being a mom to 3 young children taught me not to believe every story I hear. So forgive me for not believing much of anything I heard tonight from President Biden. From out-of-control inflation and violent crime to the dangerous border crisis and threat from China, Biden and the Democrats have failed you. They know it, and you know it. And it's time for a change. Tonight, let us reaffirm our commitment to a timeless American idea that government exists not to rule the people, but to serve the people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Our government is supposed to be serving the American people. Our government is not supposed to be dictating to us how we live our lives. The government's role was very clear in the Constitution, basically to maintain and protect our sovereignty and protect us from outside influences that may corrupt our republic. And our politicians took it upon themselves to enlighten themselves with power that was never given to them, but taken. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders nailed it right there. And she spoke with a very calm, soothing voice that wasn't aggressive, but to the point. And you're going to hear a little bit more from her in this video, but I highly recommend that if you didn't watch the full video, you should do that. And I'm going to let her go into this next clip, and she nails Joe Biden and this administration extremely hard. I mean, what she says in this next clip will leave a mark. Listen to this.
I'll be the first to admit, President Biden and I don't have a lot in common. I'm for freedom, he's for government control. At 40, I'm the youngest governor in the country. And at 80, he's the oldest president in American history. I'm the first woman to lead my state, and he's the first man to surrender his presidency to a woke mob that can't even tell you what a woman is. In the radical left's America, Washington taxes you and lights your hard-earned money on fire. But you get crushed with high gas prices, empty grocery shelves, and our children are taught to hate one another on account of their race, but not to love one another or our great country. Whether Joe Biden believes this madness or is simply too weak to resist it, his administration has been completely hijacked by the radical left. The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy.
Our choices are between normal and crazy. Who would have thought 5, 10, 15 years ago that we'd be in a situation where up is down, left is right? Nobody really knows what the heck is going on anymore. And she nailed it. When you can't even define what a woman is, you have lost it. And anybody who signs up for this, and I'm not making any judgments against anybody's affiliation with your gay, LGBTQ, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, but the moment that you eliminate reality, that's where the problem lies. And that's what she's saying. The difference between normal and crazy. All of a sudden, normal is a bad thing. The nuclear family. Kids getting an education that are going to help them grow and become successful and productive as an adult. Everything has gone out the window. And all we can talk about is Ukraine. All we can talk about is how China is a partner of the U.S. Up is down, left is right. This is the new America that the deep state and these woke individuals in the political realm that we live in today. That's all they put on us. That's all they talk about. If you're not with them, you're against them. And that is not what our government was supposed to be for. Let's listen to what else she has to say, because she's been very, this interview was very insightful. And, if you listen to the whole video, which I will put in the description, and I want to thank Right Side Media for recording this and getting this out to the public, because you're never going to find this on YouTube. I don't think so. I haven't really looked, but I'm assuming that this is not something they're going to be pushing. But with that being said, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, really, she is a great individual. She took a beating underneath the Trump administration as the press secretary. And you listen to how she was treated as the press secretary, and then you listen to how this, other female is treated over there as the press secretary. And it's a night and day difference. They gave Sarah Huckabee Sanders no respect, none at all. They questioned everything that she said. Every time she said something, there was pushback from the reporters there, and you just don't get that. Like, they're starting to push back a little bit, but they're not pushing back hard. They were downright disrespectful to her, and that right there, I would have lost my patience with them very quickly. And she didn't. She was very calm, cool, and collected, and she handled her business like a pro. And she's going to do it again as the youngest governor in Arkansas. And so let's listen to this next clip.
But we are under attack in a left-wing culture war we didn't start and never wanted to fight. Every day we are told we must partake in their rituals, salute their flags, and worship their false idols. All while big government colludes with big tech to strip away the most American thing there is, your freedom of speech.
Bravo, Sarah. Bravo. I mean, you nailed it. That's the reason that you're in the position that you are, and I'm happy to support you and give you these kind words that I'm giving you, because you deserve every single one of them. And she nailed it. Again, she nailed it. How can you look at this environment that we're in right now and not understand that we are living in a false reality, a false dynamic that these woke individuals throughout the world have imposed on the people of the world? And I never thought that the United States would get this far out of line. I thought it was impossible. But after Barack Obama and now Joe Biden, we dodged a bullet with Hillary. But after they have done so much damage to our republic that we have generations of people who are just never going to live in what reality is, not what they want it to be. And the biggest thing that they can remove from the American people is the freedom of speech. That's what's happening right now. I'm feeling it right now with YouTube. I'm being shadow banned. Not very many people are going to see this video. I know that as a growing content creator, my voice is limited. I got on here because I was tired of being, filtered. I was tired of filtering myself around people that because I can't talk to people in my business about this. It creates a hostile work environment. So I started up this channel, Right IQ, because I wanted to be able to yell from the rooftops. And I know that my reach is going to be cut down. I know that I am not going to be reaching the people that want to hear what I have to say. I understand that. But if I can get a hold of a few individuals that understand what I understand and see what I see and live in the reality that I live in, then it's all worth it. And I'll keep fighting. I'm not giving up. But you saw was it the Emmys or the Grammys, whatever it was. I mean, that was basically just a satanic ritual. They used to hide that stuff. Now it's out in the open. They have laid their cards on the table, and now we know exactly who they serve. They don't serve God. They don't serve America, and they don't serve you. So, I hope you like this video. I know it started off kind of rocky, having to listen to the Joe Biden BS, but hopefully I ended it on a good note, and hopefully a few of you people will be able to see this video and give me a thumbs up, and maybe even share it. With that being said, I hope you liked the video. I will see you on the next video. News right now is dropping left and right, left and right. There are some investigations going on in the House right now, and I'm going to be touching on those too. But I appreciate you guys spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you again in the future. So don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video, because if you don't share it, people aren't going to know that I'm here. And I don't want to be invisible, and I want to help get the word out. So if you can help me by sharing this video and giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you folks on the next video. Thank you. You guys take it easy. Bye-bye.